It's the season of entertaining, and if you're planning a holiday gathering right now, then you might be looking for a unique way to serve your food while still keeping it fresh. That's where the executive chef at one of downtown Atlanta's top hotels comes in with a unique skill that he says anyone can try. Anyone. All right. Well, Good Day's Paul Milliken is live at the Westin Peachtree Plaza this morning, and Paul, hams and turkeys aren't the only thing getting carved there, right?
That's right. You sounded skeptical, Elise, but even the two of us can do this stuff. It only requires a freezer. That's it. All right. As long as we can make ice and freeze water, we can make an ice bowl like this. And this is really such a genius idea. We talked about this in our first hour at 8 o'clock. So what you do is you take two bowls and you freeze water in between the two, and you make this perfect ice bowl, which is a great way to serve at your holiday party. It looks nice, but it's also functional as well. So that stuff is very easy. Anybody can do it. And then we kick things up a notch here, and we get to some really incredible pieces that will certainly make your holiday parties pop. And they are all the work of this guy right here, Executive Chef Russell Sleight. Great to see you. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm just so impressed with what you can do with a chainsaw, a chisel, and some ice. So where did you learn to do this stuff?
So we learned the basics in culinary school, and then throughout the years, you just have to take everything up, thinking outside the box and how you can go ahead and elevate your senses of cooking.
Yeah, well, what I love that you do is that you don't just make things that are ornamental, that are pretty. What you do is you make them functional and ornamental. Where did that idea come from?
I took the idea of making sure that food was the focal point in everybody's function. Yeah. Getting the facts that, you know, you don't want to have something that is not feasible or functionable for the guests in the food industry.
Yeah, and so you do some really incredible things like what you're cutting right now. So explain what this is in here. I mean, that's a real fish in there.
Yes, so there's a whole salmon frozen in this block of ice. It's solid. What we're going to do is we're going to carve some of it out so that you can see the intricacy of putting the little shows on the side of the ice. Yeah, and then it makes a really kind of interesting and appetizing. It's perfect to actually serve the salmon sort of in front of that centerpiece, and it kind of shows people where the food comes from, and it just looks good, right? Yes, absolutely. You can use it in any way that you want.
Yeah, all right, well, fire up that chainsaw, my friend. Let's check this out. All right, so what you've done, you just cut 3 slats there into the ice. What are you going to do next to make those look like what we're seeing back there?
So what we'll do next is we'll come in from an angle, about a 45-degree angle, and get that first hole out of the ice so that you can see the body of the fish right through there, and then you'll be able to use that fish as part of your display if you were making sushi or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. How do you keep it? This may be a really kind of a silly question, but I mean, I would think with a big block of ice, you take a chainsaw or a chisel, I would think the entire thing would shatter. How do you keep it all from breaking apart?
Well, first you have to bring the ice out of the freezer, let it sit there at room temperature for about an hour to an hour and a half, and that tempers the ice. Kind of makes it soft. As you can see, it's real shiny. Yeah. It's getting kind of soft, so when the chainsaw hits it, it's not going to chip all to pieces on you. Sometimes you get a little bit, but for the most part, you'll be able to get your artist ability in there and cut some holes in it.
It is really fabulous to watch. If you would, go ahead and start again as we wrap this up. I want to watch you work and do a little bit more here. So again, Elise, some really neat ideas as you look at ways you can creatively use ice for your holiday parties. And another one back here, if Blaze can pan it and show. This is just a big block of ice, and what the chef did was he put a couple of tuna cans in there. Once it was frozen, he took the cans out, you put it on your bar, you put your bottles in there. It's a really interesting, functional, and ornamental way of serving drinks at your holiday party. How smart is that? I love that.
No, it definitely is. I love that. And talk about a way to make your party stand out, Paul. some great ideas. Love watching them do that.
Absolutely. I'm bringing the fish to your holiday party, Elise. That's going to be my contribution.
You would, Paul. Thank you. Coming up tomorrow morning, forget 34th Street. This year, Miracle is happening in Buckhead, and Paul will have a live look inside Miracle 2. It's a Christmas pop-up bar that takes holiday cheer to the next level. Ooh, looking forward to seeing that.